have a saying. It's a Nigerian proverb that's called "Don't let the lion tell the giraffe story." Historically, people who have not had disabilities have been telling our story. And so for me, I thought it was so important that we tell our own stories. We have things to say about our own life experiences, and we have the power to be able to do that. I wanted to devote a part of my career to telling our story. My role here at the Center for the Visually Impaired, as our public education manager, comprises a lot of different little things. The primary thing that I do is educating the public on people who have vision impairments. Your average person on the street probably knows very little about what it means to be a blind person. So a lot of what I do involves helping people to understand what that actually is. Sometimes I do presentations at different corporate companies where I'm talking about CVI and our services and our programs and how we assist folks who've lost their vision regain their life and their independency. I also put out a community bulletin board which gives like a listing of all different kinds of activities and programs and functions that are going on in the blind community that people can participate in. I also do a little bit of our social media because I put together our blog every week where we talk about vision impairment and how it relates to your everyday life activities. For example, in the month of May, I wrote a post about gardening and how does a person who has vision loss be able to get back and garden and grow vegetables and plant flowers and that kind of a thing. So those are things that are really of importance to our constituents and to our volunteers, to our donors, to the community at large. A lot of people just don't understand what it means to be visually impaired, and so that is a big chunk of what I do here at CVI. I had already been affiliated with the American Foundation for the Blind as a Career Connect mentor for many years. And so they had reached out to me to see if I would be interested in blogging for them and then coding those blog posts. We have a whole group of what we call peer advisors, and those of us, we're all visually impaired, and we comment on each other's posts as well as on the message boards on the website. Since Vision Aware is a piece of the American Foundation for the Blind, it's an online community. So people are accessing information about vision loss actually on the website, and we're interacting with them, answering questions, posting comments, giving out information about vision impairment. And so what I started to do was writing blog posts about my own personal experiences as a person with vision loss, as well as doing the coding for the blog, which means going behind the scenes of the website, actually putting in the hyperlinks, which are the links that are inside of a website where you can click on them and they take you to another place, putting those in there, putting the headings in there, doing some minor editing to the person's post that they've written. And it could be basic grammar, punctuation, maybe massaging a sentence to make it more clear so when the person reads it, they understand what they're reading. I've been writing for Dialogue magazine now. It's got to be 11 years. That's a long time. My manager came to me, my editor rather, she came to me one day and said, Empish, I got these people, they want us to write their profiles, but I don't have time to do it. And I noticed that you're a very good profile writer. Would you be interested in taking this on? So of course I said yes, I'd be happy to do it. And so after that, I became the columnist for that whole section of the magazine. So every quarter or so, I interview someone who's blind or visually impaired in their career. And I specifically look for folks who have very different off the beaten path types of careers. So over the years, I've interviewed travel agents, I've interviewed musicians, I interviewed a guy who owned his own radio station, had his own tower out in Mississippi. I've interviewed real estate agents. I even interviewed a guy in Oregon who he was a cook, and he would come to your home and cook the food in your kitchen and serve it to you. And he was totally blind doing this. The last guy I interviewed, he's retired now, but he used to own a motel in Canada. Him and his wife, they owned the motel, they ran it, they did all of the things around hotel management. So it's interesting how these people I find sometimes through my affiliation with Career Connect with AFB, and then sometimes people just send me emails, or I stumble upon someone who has a very interesting career, and I'm always thinking, wow, that could be a great story, and that's kind of where I get my ideas from. So I find it very empowering for us to be able to communicate effectively our own stories and what was really going on with us versus having someone else speak for us.